On the bigger picture, there's usually a bit of pre-production. Usually there's camera tests, casting, which is kind of secret. So I get to go in and look at the casting tests with the director. But generally speaking, usually about a week before we start shooting, if not the day we start shooting. And then, because that's all you really need it for. Equipment these days doesn't take any work to set up. You just slide it in, plug it in, and off you go, and it's working. It's just a big computer. Kind of. It depends on the experience of the director. There's generally a discussion about the script and how, which happens in a meeting when you go to get the job. In the interview, there's a conversation about, what do you think of the script? How do you feel it goes? What sort of stuff do you think? How do you feel the story might be told best? On the bigger movies now, there's an awful lot of pre-visualization. There's even pre-animations. There's 2D. There's even digital visualizations of what the picture's going to look like. So there's an awful lot of that happens even a year before I turn up. There's work happening in visual effects companies, and all of that stuff's almost set before we even come along by other people. I don't think I do. Other people might think I do, but I don't think I do. I think the style of each movie is imposed by the movie itself, by the script, by the characters, by the pace of the performances, and by the director. We are subservient to the director's vision, and that's my job. My job is to deliver that director's vision to the best of my ability. Whether that is the right vision or not is debatable sometimes, but that's the initial process, is to do that, and much of what we do is dictated by the pacing and the tempo of what he does on the set with the actors. Performance is to retain the best possible performance for every actor in the movie. Sometimes it's necessary to change the shot because the performance works for the first half of the sentence and not necessarily for the second half of the sentence on that particular take. So the mechanics is about joining those two pieces together from take 1 and take 7 to put them together and to make that connection as smooth as possible. Now, whether that's a case of cutting from 2 different shots of the same performance in 2 sizes, or whether you have to cut to a different character to cover that cut, but it's got to be absolutely invisible. The connection has to be invisible. If it isn't, it's a bump, and the audience will see it and feel it, and they won't know necessarily what it is, but they will feel it, and it will take them out of the movie for that brief second. So yeah, it's about joining all that stuff together, and over the course of the 90 minutes, 2 hours of the movie, is to make it feel as joined up as possible, without any unattractive bumpiness. Okay, Cell Block Tango. Cell Block Tango, I'm not sure it was the first song we shot in Toronto. We shot in Toronto. All of those songs in Chicago were shot over a course of between 3 and 4 days each. And Rob and his DP, Dion Beebe, set up a lot of cameras so they could gather as much material as they possibly could from every every time we shot. Now, one of the issues with actors playing dancers is, to put it politely as possible, is they're not professional dancers. So there's only a certain amount of time any of those leads, actresses, can be on the screen at any one time, because they can't possibly do a 5-minute song in one go. So there's a lot of cutting in Cell Block Tango. The Wachowski boys and James McTeague, the director, used the Tchaikovsky there to because it's a great piece of music. It's a revolutionary piece of music, of course, and that's what the movie's about. It's about revolution. So it's a great joke to use, and while we blew up the model of the Houses of Parliament, which was a lot of fun. The car chase of Jack Ryan was, in fact, maybe I shouldn't say this, but that was an add-on. That was a reshoot. We didn't have, that wasn't the original ending to the movie. The original ending to the movie was deemed unsuccessful, and the studio decided that we had to shoot a more exciting climax to the movie. So we shot a car chase very quickly, in a matter of about 3 days, I think, in New York, and that became the new ending, the heroic ending for Jack. Oh, everything! It's fantastic to be in the same. What's the word? It's not a club, but to be in the same gang as Pietro, Thelma Schoonmaker, and Alan Hyme, and all those guys is an absolute delight to me. Alan Hyme's my all-time hero. I mean, one of the movies that made me notice editing as a kid when I started work was All That Jazz, and it's still one of my all-time favourite movies, and I think one of the best pieces of editing ever of any. And Thelma's work with Scorsese, Pietro's work with everybody. Everything Pietro's done is just astonishingly brilliant, and to be given the same honour as they've been given is it's just amazing for me. Absolutely amazing. I'm delighted to be here. I really am.